This is the speaking test of the International English Language Testing System taking place on Monday, the 24th of October at Medcity International Academy, Kannur. The candidate is Anima Raj and the candidate number is 3692. The examiner is Sangeeta Gopi and the examiner number is 8732. The center number is MIAK 245. May I know your full name?
My full name is Anima Raj.
And how may I address you?
You may address me as Anima.
Alright, Anima, can I see your ID, please?
Sure.
Okay. Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
Where do you come from?
I hail from Kannur district of Kerala, which is actually a beautiful city in the southern part of India. And I think you should visit it once in your lifetime.
Do you work or are you a student?
Actually, I completed my 12th standard in 2021, and after which I've been preparing for an exam which possibly didn't happen. So I wish to migrate to Canada for my future studies.
Okay. Alright, Anima, so we're moving on to the first part of speaking. I'm going to ask you some questions regarding personal talents. What sort of things do you think you're good at?
Actually, I'm a very strenuous person and I would like to invest my energy in things. Actually, during my younger age, I was good at dancing and probably I stopped it at a moment and continued into my studies. That's it.
So do you have the same talents as anyone else in your family?
I would say the answer as yes, because my mother is good at cooking and I don't know how it it came into me, but naturally it was inherited into me.
Okay. Is there a talent you already have that you would like to improve?
As I mentioned earlier, I was a good dancer, but probably due to my school days, I wasn't able to continue it. And if I get an opportunity, I'll definitely say yes to that and I'll continue it. And it will be a very happy moment, or I can say I'll be over the moon at that moment.
And do you think you will use your talents in a future job?
Talking about my dancing, I think I can't use it in my future jobs. If it doesn't demand it, I can't use it. I can, of course, use my skills, such as my communication skill, my negotiation skills. I can use it there.
All right. Moving on to old buildings, the topic. Have you ever visited any important old building?
Yes, of course, I have. I have visited the St. Angelo's Fort in my city, like Kannur, and it has been a fort that was built during the British regime. And what astonished me there was the cannons that are still there. And I think 3 to 4 years back, many cannonballs was discovered from there.
All right. Is there an old building you would like to visit in the future?
Yes, I can say that it is Qutub Minar, which was built by Qutbuddin Aibak. And talking about it, it is located in the capital of India, New Delhi. And it's a very tall building and I would love to visit it once in my lifetime.
Do you think it's important to look after old buildings?
Yeah, actually it is our history and we should protect it. And talking about its tourism possibility, which we shouldn't ignore. It's a tourist attractive spot and I think we should conserve it so that through which we can improve our economic stability.
Where would you prefer to live? Would it be in an old building or a modern one?
The answer is a modern one because I think modern buildings are built in such a way that it is adaptable to modern climate, all those.
Okay. All right, taking this forward to a new topic, watches. Did you ever wear a watch when you were a child?
No, I didn't get an opportunity to wear a watch when I was a child because I didn't have a watch. And I think the first time I wore a watch was when I was in my 7th standard and it was a gift from my father.
And have you ever received a watch as a gift?
As I mentioned earlier, my first watch was a gift from my father, but the watch that I'm currently wearing, this is also a gift from my brother who's abroad.
Do you usually wear a watch now?
Yes, I do. I find it a little bit like if I'm not wearing a watch, I'll be irritated. I'll not be able to look into the time. So I think a watch is very important to me right now.
Medcity IELTS app, a complete learning solution. IELTS listening, reading, writing, and speaking module lessons with grammar classes and free practice materials. Get over 50 hours of video lessons. Download Medcity IELTS app now. Available on Android and iOS platforms.
Why do you think people like to wear expensive watches?
There are many people. I don't think people are only looking into watches that are expensive. They also try to treasure watches that are being that they have a close memory with, like maybe the watches that their grandparents have been wearing, or something that was being gifted by a person. And there are many people who are right now like wearing watches which is very very expensive, and I think it is to show off their position, or like to show off how they live. All these may be the factors.
All right, so Anima, moving on to the next part of speaking, I'm going to give you a cue card, and you'll have a minute to make notes and prepare. You can write down if you want to. So here is your pencil.
Thank you.
This is your topic, and your preparation time starts now. Alright, Anima, that's the end of your preparation time. You now have 1 to 2 minutes to speak on the topic, and I'll stop you when your time's up. I want you to describe a time when you helped a child.
Okay. Actually, this incident was a few years back. Actually, I think I was in my 10th standard, probably, and I went to visit Guruvayur temple, which is in Thrissur district of Kerala, with my mother. And as we were walking around the temple, I suddenly heard a crying, like a sound from nearby. I couldn't spot where it was, and I told my mother, and she suddenly looked into it, and we started looking for that sound, like who's crying, and we found that it was a small girl. She was sitting in a small place nearby, and she was crying. And what surprised me was nobody was looking why the child was crying. And after seeing that, we got like stuck, and we approached the child, and she told us she went missing. She is not able to find her parents. And after that, I didn't have an idea what I'll do with the child, or neither my mother had an idea. And after which we took the child and went to a committee nearby, and we told that she went missing. She don't know where her parents is, and they asked the details. They asked about her parents, everything, and they finally announced it through the mic, and she finally found her parents. I was very happy at the moment. I could see the joy in her face. I think that would satisfy me the most, and I was very very like joyous, and I was very happy at the moment. And things like, I would say, it was an incident which was very old. Actually, it's few years back, and I think everybody should be able to help others, even if it was a child, if it is an old person, whatever age he or she or whatever might be, that doesn't matter. We should be able to help that person if he or she is in need. And
Thank you, Anima. That's the end of your time.
thank you.
All right, moving forward to the last part of speaking, I'm going to ask you questions about helping people, about volunteering and international aid in general. Okay? So, what are the kinds of people, or what are the kinds of help that people can give their neighbors?
Yes, neighbors are like a family. I think everybody should be able to see them as one of the members in your family. And I think we cannot we should not put it into headings or whatever help day we can give. I think like a way we help the members in our family, our neighbor also should be helped. Whether most of our neighbors at times, according to me, my neighbor was a old person, and they it's only a father and a mother. Their children are abroad, and whatever things they are in need, like whether it be just me a loaf of bread, but I think that when someone is in need of that, that should be given, and we should not criterize what should be given or not.
All right. And
Medcity IELTS app, a complete learning solution. IELTS listening, reading, writing and speaking module lessons with grammar classes and free practice materials. Get over 50 hours of video lessons. Download Medcity IELTS app now. Available on Android and iOS platforms.
how can schools encourage young people to help others?
Yes, currently, the students, like schools right now, teachers teach students like subjects like maths, physics, chemistry, all those. I think what should be taught initially is humanity. How can a person be better, can be a better version of oneself? That should be taught initially so that a child can differentiate between sympathy and empathy and can be more empathetic towards people who really need help.
So, do you any schools that you've attended? Do they have any sessions on this?
Yes, probably the school I have been studying, St. Teresa's. Often we teachers we didn't have any sessions like, but teachers used to help us to understand what people are and how to be like how to be empathetic is what I've been taught from my school.
All right. Can you comment on the view that people naturally want to help others?
According to me, in my perspective, I'm a person who want to help others, who has a natural like affinity to help others. But currently, due to some scenarios, if I can provide a help, I can do it. Something like, to cite an example, I can say that if someone needs money, someone's help is in the form of money, like they are in need of money, but at the moment I've been trying to do my things with that money what I have in bit, and if I give that to that person, my things cannot be met. It cannot meet my ends. So I don't think that should be a primary responsibility. Apart from that, if we can lend our time towards anything, like if our time is what someone need, I think we should do that.
All right. And if I say that everyone should volunteer in their community, would you agree or disagree with me?
I would agree with that, because we are all humans. We will once in our lifetime, we'll all be in need of help. So only if we can volunteer things right now, we'll be benefited from it. For example, during the days of Hartal in our locality, we often have Hartal, and people all over the places will come to the station and they'll be stuck without no transportation, no food. I think we should volunteer those situations and we should provide help in the form of food and transport. That's it.
Okay. So I want you to compare the value of volunteering time and of giving money to help people. When you compare the two.
It's up to one situation, I'll say. Each person is different. If I can only provide my help in the form of time, I should do that. It is something like we should help others. There is no need to help only with money. But if a person who is receiving that help is in very need of money, we should provide money. But we can find some other sources to help them. Like there are many charitable associations right now who's ready to fund, and I think we should able to contact them and we should provide those type of help. And time, I think most people around us need time as help. If whether it is a friend of us who's in need of, who's very broke down, and what she need is our time. What she need is something of our time. I think it should be provided.
And who do you think benefits more? Is it the volunteers or the people they help?
In a view, both are benefited actually. Whether the volunteer or the person who is receiving that is always benefited. The person, his need is satisfied, his things are done, and according to the volunteer, she or he will be having that mental satisfaction, which is very important.
Thank you, Anima. That's the end of your speaking time.
Thank you.
For more such exciting videos, download Medcity IELTS app.